much for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this distinguished guest, respected colleagues, and the conference organizer, and a follower, and all of you. Good afternoon. From here, it's a good afternoon. I'm not sure which area like you're is currently there. So here is good afternoon. It's a truly an honor for me to be a keynote speaker today in an international conference in multidisciplinary development in innovation and advancement also. I would like to begin by sincerely thanking the organizing committee for this kind invitation. This invitation is like kind of, somewhere where I really have like, whether I go or I don't go, because I usually go with like physical things. I accepted because of the doctor. I think the doctor has, convinced me, Dr. Deepak, he's convinced me to be a part of this for me. In most of the time, I would like to, in the era, most of the time when we are discussing about digital transformation, in an era where definition about the rapid change, there is a lot of rapid change happening, and with the especially in the global challenges and technological acceleration, we understand what is innovation is all about, with existence, with understanding, with the norm, with the isolations, meaningful advancement. Today, it's all about how you require a multidisciplinary thinking. It's not about the one subject. If I'm an expert in one specific subject, it's not like that anymore. So you need to understand an interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary step in order to collaborate with the understanding of the integration of knowledge across the management, technology, sustainability, and society. So this conference reflects exactly what the spirit is all about these days. As you know, my name is Dr. Nadia. I'm an assistant professor, and I'm going to be an associate by the end of this month, inshallah. And I'm like World Top 2% scientist, and I am already being recognized globally. I did my postdoc from Cornell, which is an Ivy League in USA. In my today's keynote, I will share the insight how my academic and research experience is basically transformed, how digital transformation and innovative perspective and the participant, how the innovation practices are reshaping organization and market, and in order to making the decision also. Sometimes you're making decisions within the organization and how you're making it. How interdisciplinary approach can create a sustainable value for both industry and how it affects the society itself. In most of the case, I look forward to understand and exchanging an idea about thoughtful discussion and collaborative learning throughout in this conferences. So I would like to ask you if you have any idea about digital transformation to reshaping management and marketing. What do you understand about digital transformation? Anybody from the audience can understand, can be a part of it. Anybody knows what is digital transformation these days? We are working towards it. Okay, let me explain you what is digital transformation. So digital transformation is all about organization operation, how the operation is working, what kind of a strategy that you come up with, oh, I'm so sorry, my screen is kind of not showing me some. Okay, let me minimize it. Yes. So it's all about strategy, operation, strategy, and culture. Most of the time, when we are discussing operation, we understand the digital transformation in the operation level. Operation is all about how the products can be, can be marketed. What is the operation strategy? For example, when you are coming up with one product, how the operationalization process works here. It's all about workflow to enhance the efficiency, effectiveness through the technological integration. For example, if you're talking about Zara these days basically walking towards all these digital transformation when it comes to their operations and stuff. Their inventory is basically all being, monitored based on the digital understanding. And then a strategy, you need to come up with a different strategy. You think about the digital technology and competitive advantage to value the creation, how you are created certain thing, and how about the culture. When you're talking about the culture and stuff, you understand about the continuous learning and embrace the understanding of adapting the new technology, all about knowing the cost, experience, their overall customer experience. When we are discussing about the leader in a digital age, it's about modern leader to required strategic foresight of technology, and in most of the cases we are talking about emotional intelligence. When we are talking about emotional intelligence is all about the connection with the team during the period, a change of uncertainty. What kind of uncertainty can be happen? Most of the time when we are talking about Saudi Arabia, the companies, they are more, indulge themselves with emotional intelligence. Why they are? Because it's a must thing for them, right? It's about building the team, understanding your people, understanding your staff, understanding your group of people that you're working together, and then we are talking about strategic understanding. What is the strategic understanding here? It's about the participant to understand the digital trend. It's about the knowing of digital trend, coming up with a new idea, coming up with a new challenge and opportunity. There are the things which the world is basically seeing in the different perspective. In the traditional era was like more like, the print media and all those things. Now everything, you can be your own, social media head. Now you can do many things. Your business is all in basically in social media. So most of the time when we are talking about organizational agility, we understand about digital transformation that drives a shift towards a traditional hierarchy. We have a traditional hierarchy. We understand it's a top to bottom or bottom up approach. But here we are talking about the collaborative organization decision or organization model. We empower, and from the grassroots level, we need to make sure that they know what they are doing, what the organization is basically aiming for. So these are the things that we need to understand. That's all about the digital transformation. It's not about you're coming up with new technology and insert those technology in the organization and the people they are, start coming up with those understanding. No, you need to come up with the grassroots level where you make sure the people they understand the decision making with the data, how they're making the decision based on their perspective, based on their understanding. They need to focus towards the continuous learning adaptation. So most of the time when we understand about the information that is coming related to the cost, related to the informed decision. Sometimes you make a, when you accept this kind of digital transformation, you will come up with like informed decision. Decision is all about operationalization of agility. So you understand the traditional hierarchy and agile collaborative model. When you're, it's more like decentralized approach. I believe in my classes, in my talk, I believe in decentralization approach. Why the decentralization? All the people, I don't want to go with like centralized stuff. Every decision is basically made by the higher up. No, I want the students, they involve in the assignments and quizzes. What kind of assignment they are looking for? What kind of things they are basically they think that's attractive or non-attractive. For example, I've given in my classes, I've given 2 different assignments, and I asked them, what do you think? Which assignments attracts you more? Most of the thing is basically they are more attached to themselves when it is more related to their understanding. Their understanding is based on the learning curve. The learning curve is coming from the understanding, the idea, the how they be part. I want to empower my students. I want to empower my, my PhD, my master's students. So that's basically how it works. Most of the time we are coming, when we focus on agile collaborative model, we focus on flexibility of reporting structure. It's a flexible, not everything coming from the dean to the assistant professors, or in organization it's the same, right? It's like your manager, your general manager, and your supervisor is basically the one. But here, everyone, they are accountable for their things. So that's basically when we are talking about agile collaborative model, we understand this. And then we understand about data-driven decision making. What is data-driven decision making? It's about everything is coming from analytics. Everything is coming from artificial intelligence. A manager can be informed that when you are making decision, okay, these percentage of the people, they want more, they're working towards their promotion, they're working only for the salaries, so these and other people, they're working towards to making sure the goals are achieved. So you can you come up with this kind of informed strategic decision, the real time data and the predictive insight. So you need to understand about the operational efficiency, the performance tracking, and the resource allocation and the strategic insight. All these things is basically aligned when it comes to making a decision, decision making process. So all these things, I'm like, actually, I don't want to be like giving you the lecture on it. Rather than I want to, share what is basically new in the society, which is more related to marketing revolution through personalization. Personalization. You want to sell a water. You need to, these days we prefer as an audience, as a customers, as a person who want to buy your product, we are more focused towards personalization rather than you target a mass market. We are I think the generation Z is more related to personalization. They want unique. They all more or less, they most of the time they want a uniqueness. So it's about individual experience, it's about real-time interaction, it's about the channel of integration. So how you are basically omni-channels. Basically, we are discussing about omni-channels, how these kind of challenges is basically kind of important. You come up with the hyper-personalizations marketing message to understand what is omni-channel customers experience, what they want from the provider or manufacturer. They want how brand engage with the audience. Sometimes you spend, most of the cases when you're talking about the technology in especially in our country where we are currently situated, most of the time here, the mashallah, we are very wealthy and all. So we look for this personalized stuff. We most focused on the personalized stuff. What kind of personalization? For example, in the gift section, if we're talking about, so we are going to personalize their experiences. Especially these days we are coming up with a cola which written with the names in it, right? So they come up with their own name, and they that's basically kind of everybody is basically taking their name, and then they put it on the social media. They receive this kind of Coke with their name on it. So these kind of personalized market revelation is there. So it's also coming up with the new idea and understanding also, especially in Tamimi in Saudi Arabia. We do have like a robot who is basically serving, especially the Coca-Cola and all the Pepsi. They have their own personalized robot that's basically moving around the Carrefour or Tamimi. These are the grocery shops here. So all these things is basically there, and they are moving around the grocery shops, and they attract the individual, that how they are coming up with new ideas. These ideas are very attractive to them. Now, emerging marketing technology. When we are talking about marketing technology, we are working towards something which is basically eye tracking device. We are coming up with EEG systems, right? So we understand that when you enter to the Carrefour or Tamimi or any other grocery or retail shops, what you want to see over there, whether you want to get attracted by the sales, or you don't want to get attracted by the sales, or you just buy what is needed to this to your household, right? So we are working towards it. We are working towards artificial intelligence and machine learning. We are basically working towards augmented reality and virtual reality. We are working towards advanced data analytics. We are working towards IoT devices. We are basically well connected to the system. As we are working towards these things, we are working and understand about the connect, how we connect physically and how we connect in the real-time interaction. So all these things is basically jiving when it comes to the Vision 2030 of Saudi Arabia. When we are discussing about the success story, I think Netflix, Nike, and Domino's, they are the examples. They have come up with the DVDs. They are basically now they are working towards data-driven personalized movies. That's basically there. And then they are basically their target audience is basically somehow 50% is for maybe adult content, 40% is basically for the kids, and 10% is for the niche audience, right? So these kind of thing is there. When it comes to Nike, they have everything is basically customized, right? These is even Domino's Pizza in Saudi Arabia, they have different aspects. For example, they're coming up with a different knowledge. They can personalize by heart. They're personalizing by different shapes also based on your requirement. That's basically what is trending in Saudi Arabia right now. Future outlook is basically continuous adaptation of perpetual transformation, human-centric approach, and agile navigation. How this thing is basically walking towards this thing. How digital transformation is an ongoing journey, and how this digital transformation is basically shaping up a new understanding revolving around the digital landscapes. When you are talking about digital transformation, it's about one-time event, but it's not a one-time event. It's a continuous process. It's a continuous process to understand, to make sure that you understand your market quite well. You understand your operational strategy. You understand your overall strategy which is given to the society. When it comes to balancing the technology, it's about human capital through the continuous learning and experimentation. So all these things is basically under the understanding. When you are talking about the maintenance of agility to effectively navigate future technology shift from the market disruption. Most of the thing when you're talking about proactive leaderships, here we are talking about the vision, the technological proficiency, how these things is basically working. When you're talking about privacy, when you're talking about their focus and then balancing the technology with just that's the must things, right? So we need to understand all these aspects in order to understand, and it depends on each culture. For example, what we are experiencing here, when I was in UK, it was a totally different experience. Basically last month I was in UK, St. Mary University. I was giving, the talk over there as well. So we experienced a different kind of, digital transformation over there. The people, they are much more open considered here because it's a very collective society, and UK, as you know, it's an individual society. So over there, the problems, the marketing technique and the strategy their organization is using is far more different than what we are using in Saudi Arabia. So every culture has different understanding when it comes to digital transformation and innovations within the marketing and management perspective. Thank you very much. I hope I have not taken enough time from you guys, and it's a wonderful experience, and thank you once again. I'm delighted to be a part of this important conversation and important conference. Thank you very much. Any question from the audience?
If anyone has any question, they can raise their hands.
Yeah, very good afternoon, Dr. Nadia. This is Indradil Mukherjee. I have a few questions, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yeah, but quite light. And please, I have like few minutes because I have another class after that. So can you please be
I have
quick?
I have only one question.
Yes, please.
How do you balance human intuition with data-driven insights while making agile decisions?
Actually, these days, human intuition is kind of, we are not working towards human intuitions, but more towards a data-driven. As we are, transforming, and digital transformation is basically there. So in previously, when it's like a traditional marketing strategy or a style, it was more related to, human intuitions. But now, even you talk something, our phone is listening us. And for example, you even think about having new furniture at your home. So, all this thing is basically listened by our phone. And whenever you open any website, they start, with the help of algorithm, they start, giving you the idea where you can buy, whether you can buy from IKEA, whether you buy from any retail stores. So these things is basically already data driven. So every conversation that we are having, and the Wi-Fi is on in our home. So basically it was taken by it's considered as a data collections, by the way. These days is like that. Even have you experienced this thing while you're talking something on the phone or something, or you're talking with somebody else, and they start, the algorithm start working towards it. The algorithm is basically, so human intuition, I don't think so these days are workful, but it's still, more related to, we are making decision based on data driven. That's basically my answer.
Okay, one last question.
Yes,
which tool or platform do you recommend for integrating real-time data into agile collaboration? Which tool?
I think there are many tools that is basically available these days. For example, when you're talking about collaborative stuff, for example, in research, we'll come up with